Hola a todos, ¿cómo están? Bienvenidos a la esquina española. Yo soy Profe Tyner y hoy vamos a hablar del pretérito. Today we're going to talk about the preterite tense in Spanish. Now, as many of you know, language is the thing I love the most. Human language is a fascinating tool that we have that allows us to communicate not just what's going on immediately around us in this very moment, but also our inner worlds, our thoughts, our ideas, our feelings. We can talk about past events, things we wished had happened in the past. We can also talk about the future, things that will happen, or won't happen, or might happen. This is actually what separates us from the communication of many animals. Now, as you know, your dogs or your pets at home are able to communicate with you and let you know when they're hungry or when they want to go outside. Birds in the trees, you hear them communicating all the time. But what's interesting is they're not talking about their feelings or what happened last Tuesday. They're communicating what's happening right now. And scientists believe that that's one of the main distinctions between animal communication and human communication. So let's keep that in mind as we talk about today's topic, el pretérito. El pretérito is one of the Spanish tenses that describes the past tense. El pretérito is a verb form that's used to show when actions took place in the past. They had a specific start and end date, they're not repeated, and they're not habitual. They're not something that continues into this present moment. So, if I said, last May, I went to Yosemite and climbed the mist trail. Both of the verbs in that sentence, went and climbed, would be translated into el pretérito. There's a specific time frame, it's a single action or two single actions, and they're not repeated habitually into this present moment. So let's get started on how to learn it. Just like el presente, just like the present tense in Espanol, this is a verb form where you're going to take off the ending of your verb and add a new ending. So we need to understand that all of our verbos in Espanol are comprised of a stem and an ending. If we take a traditional, easy, very simple AR verb like hablar, we can divide this into its stem and its ending. Now, en Español, all of the endings of los verbos can only be AR, ER, or IR. So these are the last two letters of any verb. Let's divide it right here. And right there, what I underlined is its ending, so we can see that this is an AR verb. That means what's left over here is the stem. So hablo is the stem for our verb hablar. Now, I don't know about you, I've never heard Spanish speakers running around saying hablo, hablo, hablo. They're not turkeys. So we know that once we chop off this ending, that stem, hablo, wants a new ending. And what's beautiful about Spanish is each ending codes who is doing the action and when the action took place. So we know our present tense endings. We know how to say I talk, or you talk, or he talks, or she speaks. Speak is a synonym, obviously, of to talk. But now, with a new set of endings, we'll be able to change that from I talk to I talked, from you talk to you talked, he talks to he talked, she speaks to she spoke. So let's get to it. First, we're going to set up all of those subjects that we know. So we have yo, tú, él, ella, usted, nosotros, and ellos, ellas, and ustedes. Put a different way, we have our first person singular, that's when I, the speaker, am talking about myself. Second person singular, that's when I'm talking directly to someone else, so when the speaker is talking directly to you. Él, ella, and usted, those are our third person singular pronouns. So that's what we use when we're talking about someone else. And so if we're talking about another person by name or another noun at all, like a tree or a coffee cup or a marker, that's what we would use in this form. Usted is a slight distinction there. Of course, usted means you, as in you're talking to someone, but that person is in a position of greater authority than you. Nosotros means we. That's when the speaker is talking about themselves and another person or a group of people. And then ellos, ellas, and ustedes are all talking about a group of people or to a group of people. So For our AR verbs in the preterite tense, we need to learn some new endings. For yo, it's e, that's spelled E with an accent. Everyone practice, e. For tú, it's aste, A-S-T-E. El, ella, and usted, all our singular nouns are going to get O. Now, that's interesting, right? We know that O is also the ending for hablar, for yo, in present tense. Spanish solves this problem by adding an accent on top of the O in the preterite for the third person pronouns. You can hear this when you hear the verb and you can see it, so you'll know that this is the preterite tense. There'll be no confusion. Nosotros is your friend, so it's going to have the same ending as the present tense for AR verbs, amos, A-M-O-S. And then ellos, ellas, ustedes, when you're talking about some other nouns, that's going to get aron, A-R-O-N. So keeping in mind that we chopped off our ending, that's the very first step of conjugating a preterite verb. Chop off that ending, you're left with your stem habl. Habl wants something, right? It wants a new ending. So if I want to say I talked, like I talked at a conference last fall, that would be yo hablé. See how it's hablé, hablé. If I want to say you talked, like you talked to your mom yesterday, that would be tú hablaste. He talked, él habló. You can hear the difference in habló, which is the third person form in the preterite, from hablo. Yo hablo versus él habló. That would be he talked or he spoke. Nosotros hablamos, you'd have to figure out from context. That would be either we speak or we spoke. And ellos, ellas, ustedes hablaron. They talked or they spoke. That's the basic way to make a preterite tense, to make a verb happen in the past tense in Spanish for an AR verb. The ER and IR process is very similar to the AR process. And in fact, ER verbs and IR verbs have the exact same set of endings in the preterite tense. So this is great. It's one less thing to memorize. And this is similar to present tense, where they have almost the same endings except one. In this tense, in the preterite, they are all completely the same. So let's see what those endings are. We're going to take a new verb for ER. Let's do comer. Comer means to eat. And let's see if you see a pattern as I show you the new endings. So we have comer, it means to eat. Let's divide it, find our ending and our stem. Com is our stem, er is our ending. We're going to chop them off. And we know com wants a new ending, so let's find out what they are. For yo, the ending in preterite for ER and IR verbs is E, which is I with an accent. Everyone say E. For tú, it'd be iste. El, ella, and usted get yo, spelled I-O with an accent. Nosotros, for ER and IR verbs, gets imos, I-M-O-S. And ellos, ellas, ustedes gets ieron, I-E-R-O-N. So you can see that a very similar pattern is followed between the AR verbs and the ER and IR verbs, but the vowel in the ending has changed from an E and just an O and an A to an I. So we've chopped off the ending of comer. We have com just sitting there waiting for a new ending. If I want to say I ate, like I ate tacos last night, yo comí tacos anoche. Tú comiste. Él, he. If I want to say he ate, él comió. Nosotros comimos. And ellos, that group of people over there, comieron. Let's try an IR verb. I'm not going to erase these endings because they're exactly the same. So remember that this is making it easier for you. There's less work. For our IR verb, we will take escribir. Escribir means to write. If you didn't know that already, you could figure it out because right here in the middle we have scrib And that's the same root word as scribe or scribble, all things that have to do with writing. So if I want to say I wrote, like I wrote some cards yesterday or some letters, I would say yo escribí. Now how did I do that? First, we're going to divide. Find your ending, find your stem. The stem is escrib, ir is your ending, we're going to chop it off. So we're left with escrib and it wants to connect to a new ending. So if we want to let someone know, I, the speaker, did something in the past and it's over, it's not continuing into this moment, well then I would say, yo escribí unas cartas anoche. I wrote some cards last night or letters. Tú escribiste. Ella, her, that girl over there, escribió. Nosotros escribimos. And ellas, those group of girls over there, escribieron. So that's the basic way to form our regular preterite tense in Spanish. There are some irregulars, but that'll be in a different video. Right now I want to show you what some of these look like all spelled out and also a verb machine. So those of you who know me know the verb machine is my little crazy invention to visualize these conjugations. So draw this funny shape. Here we have our verb machine. The way it works, you're going to take a verb and you're going to add it into the top and it's going to drop into the machine. So if we take a verb such as recibir, which means to receive. Gotta fix spelling so that we can see it. Recibir. First thing's going to happen is going to drop down. Now, what goes in this side of the verb machine is our subject. So if I want to say tú, you receive. The very first step for conjugating, you are going to have your verb and it is going to lose its ending. So in other words, recibir will become recib. Now, recib is waiting, it wants a new ending. And the ending that comes with tú in the preterite tense is iste. So, our new stem, recib, drops down. It meets our new ending, iste. And our outcome is going to be recibiste, which would be you received some presents. Tú recibiste unos regalos. All right, let's see them spelled out, and then it's time for you to start practicing. So the verb we're going to use now is charlar. Charlar means to chat, which is what we're doing right now. And if I want to say, I chatted with my mom yesterday, I would say yo. Now, remember, we're going to divide it. Take off our ending. We're left with the stem. I'm going to add my new preterite ending for yo. So yo charlé con mi mamá. If I want to find out if you chatted with your mom, I can say, ¿charlaste tú con tu mamá? And if I want to say they, like our moms talked together, I would say, ellas charlaron mucho. They chatted a lot. Okay, I hope that clarifies some things about the preterite, regular tense, the regular preterite tense in Spanish. Go ahead and get started practicing, and I'll see you again soon. Adios!